I'm Kiera Morgan. Thanks for joining me today on Coffee with Kiera. We are sponsored by, get it straight in the camera there, the Human Being. And today I have with me Dr. Karen Gray, Superintendent of Lincoln County Schools. And of course, we are meeting via Zoom, and we look forward to the day when we can actually be together in the same room and share coffee in our chat.
Exactly. Coffee
so welcome, Dr. Gray. There you go. So let's talk a little bit about schools. School has gotten underway a couple of weeks now. It took a little bit longer to get things going. How do things look across the district?
So things look okay. So I'm going to think about what word I use. I think that school looks different, and it looks different in some really good ways, in that we are not doing distance learning for all anymore. We are doing comprehensive distance learning because for a long time our COVID metric numbers haven't been good enough for us to bring kids back on campus in large numbers. We just haven't been able to do that, but that has turned around. So we do have all teaching staff, all staff, including teachers and classified administration, are all back on campus. And so people are teaching from their classrooms, but they're teaching a fully online program. So things are looking good. The buildings have never looked so good. They've really had a lot of attention and no children. So sadly.
Rich Maloney must be in heaven being able to get so much done.
And you know him well. We just completed 2 seismic projects. Well, one is a seismic project and one is a remodel. We did a full-on seismic project at Taft Elementary. It looks gorgeous and it's safe. And we did a complete remodel of Newport High School's West Campus. So
that was needed.
much needed, and beautifully done with lots and lots of staff input. And I have toured both facilities. We've also had a lot to deal with the wildfires. They have really affected our schools and students in the north. Over 300 homes burned during that time in the northernmost Lincoln City area, Panther Creek, Echo Mountain, Otis. And so we have 358 students that live in Otis, and 57 students had homes that burned down. And so we are working with them. We just got information yesterday. This is news. Most people don't know this because it happened yesterday. We got news from the Oregon Department of Ed that Lincoln County School District is one of about 25 school districts because of wildfires. Any student displaced by the wildfire can come back to school. And they can come back to school in any model school that
in the buildings?
In the school.
That's great.
And that's because the kids are
and no matter what grade they're in, right?
Doesn't matter, K-12.
That's
so
great.
we're gonna figure out who the 57 students are. There may be more. Some are now in Toledo and Newport, so we need to make sure we follow them. Some are hither and yon. Some are in Pendleton or other states. But we're going to figure out where they'll be and how we'll educate them. But that's different. So again, things look different. And teachers are teaching. They're teaching 5 days a week, either synchronously, you know, as they're teaching, or asynchronously on videos and in Google Classroom. So school is going. We do have a new happening. Is it okay to talk about that?
Of course.
So because the school district has met the metrics for limited in-person instruction and for the K through 3 exception, these are the ODE terms, We are bringing back all kindergartners in all areas on Monday, the 12th of October, and all career technical education programs and some special education programs connected to those grade levels. There are strict rules about how these things happen. I won't take the time here to explain it, but and we will follow the rules, but we're pretty excited. And maybe 2 weeks after that, we'll bring back grade 1. And 2 weeks after that, we'll see how many grades we'll be able to bring back successfully, healthily, and safely.
So is this going to be like it was before, a Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 2:30 type deal?
No, not really. I will explain a little bit of the difference. In the first metric, it's called limited in-person instruction. That's what our CTE program is coming back, career technical education. It's at our high schools. It's only 2 hours a day. So you can only be at school 2 hours in a row, and a student can only come into contact with 20 kids. So it's very limited, not like regular school. We're still grateful. In the K through 3 exception, it is a hybrid model. Kids come to school Monday and Thursday, Tuesday and Friday, and Wednesday they are doing school, but it is not live teaching for teachers. Teachers are doing professional development and planning on Wednesdays at this point. Kind of like our early release, only it's all day. Then when kids come back in a full hybrid model, and that has a very high standard of very low numbers of COVID cases and positivity rates, that is where kids are, all kids, that is the comprehensive distance learning goes away. Mm-hmm. And all kids go to school either Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday. And then we'll have to figure out what we're doing on Wednesdays.
So let's talk a little bit about how this has affected parents. It's been very hard trying to work out, because a lot of parents are back to work now, and trying to juggle where their kids are going to be, how they're going to be learning, because the online learning is, a normal full school day, pretty much right. 8:30 to 2:30 or yes. 9 to 3, and there's breaks in between, but not all parents are able to adjust their work schedule. Have you heard any feedback about that and childcare and
yes, the superintendent has gotten lots and lots of emails about it. Yes. So what we know is that we have had parents that are either single family parents or 2-parent families. They have never stopped working since March 13th. So they have not been home with their kids the way that, frankly, some of our staff have been able to be home because they're off for the summer. But, you might have a dad at Fred Meyer and a mom at Walmart or in some other capacity. They've had to find difficult daycare for their kids. Now that school is back, it's even harder, because we are required under comprehensive distance learning under the Oregon Department of Ed. Over 50% of the teaching is in person, meaning online in person, synchronous, if you will. So as the teacher's teaching, the student's learning. Has to be over 50% of the time. So how are people being able to access this and say, we've heard from parents that have 3 or 4 kids in 3 different levels. So they've had to call upon other family. They've had to wait until the kids get off of daycare, because some of them can't participate during the day, and they've gone on a program called Edmentum. So when families have not been able to work it out under the CDL, They've gone on Edmentum, which is a fully online, non-Lincoln County School District teacher program. It's run by Zach Lilleboe. He is the administrator. He's the former AP at Taft-El. And we have 1,000 students, K-12, in Edmentum. They are Lincoln County School District kids. They have Lincoln County School District Chromebooks and meals, and they are helped all the time. We have a crew that works with them, and a lot of people signed up for that option because they can't do the synchronous learning. I feel
they
like
do the learning as when they're
as they can. They have to check
That's
in
great.
once a day, no matter what, and they have to be on longer than 20 minutes. So they will earn, credits as a high schooler. They will get a good education. It's all about reading, writing, and math. There's social studies and science. There are even some electives. And we've had Edmentum, this would make our 4th year in the district. So it's not new to us.
Okay.
And we're going to keep it. So we're going to keep a fully online option in Lincoln County School District. And we're having discussion about what that's going to look like, but we're not going to let it go. There are too many people that like a fully online option, and we're going to keep one. That's
great. So you mentioned meals. Let's talk about how that looks.
Great. So the Meals on the Bus 3.0, because it's our 3rd iteration, we have probably served about 800,000 meals, creeping up on 1 million. And what we've been doing is we have been having great success in bringing buses into areas and having people socially distanced with masks come to the bus. I can keep mine off because there's nobody in my office. And my office has a door.
I'm alone with my cats.
Exactly. I just have nobody, nothing. No living creatures in my office. But they can go up. I've watched it where people from all over the community come up to these bus stops and they get 4 or 5 bags of food to take home to their families. We had to stop serving on Saturdays and Sundays because we ran out of program.
Wow.
But we've also been feeding people through the Red Cross and feeding as many people as we can, and all kinds of people that are not even kids. I
know the Salvation Army has a great food pantry that they've been serving folks with, and now they've started a delivery service in North County at one of the churches up there, Church of Christ, I believe it is. There in North County on Fridays for people to come by and pick up. So this county's really stepped up in that direction. So can people go online to the website if they need some more information about the food?
Absolutely. You know what? Our website is full of resources. If you look up the big banners, we have full-on resources and phone numbers and places to get help from the wildfire, and then also from the beginning of the school district. Our Compass newsletter is about 8 pages long, and it's full of resources. And we have an online version that's in Spanish and English, so that we can communicate with our diverse population. And we are working really hard on Wi-Fi connectivity, which frankly is not the job of the school district, just being honest. Our job is to provide the Chromebook and the educator and the curriculum and the standards and the materials. But truly, it's not Lincoln County School District's job, frankly, to make sure that everyone has connectivity to the Wi-Fi. But we have worked every day, all day, 24 hours a day with our partners to make sure that people are connected. We have slow connections, we have broken connections, we have no connections. And when you have 5,000 kids on all day, plus all the businesses, your Wi-Fi is pushed to the max. We have great partners with Wave Communication, Spectrum, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, I'm going to miss someone, Sprint, Pioneer, Frontier. I think I've almost got them all. Sorry if I missed you. Tremendous partnership with the state of Oregon and with these wonderful providers. And we've also given people lots of suggestions as to ways to get the load off of the Wi-Fi in your house. We still have people that aren't connecting well enough, and we have given out over 300 hotspots, but hotspots only have so much bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
I probably said that wrong. Vince will correct me later.
Okay.
Vince Dye, our tech director. And we've run out and we've ordered another 100. So I think that Lincoln County School District, I mean, I know I'm prejudiced, but we have just worked our fingers to the bone to get people what they need. And we still have 300 kids with problems. So we were never set up for this at all.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. You kind of roll with the punches and things.
Every day. Today we had an outage in the north and the south, and they were only at the buildings. One was a breaker that flipped on its own, and another was something that someone miswired. So we're just every day trying to.
You know, even when the kids are in school and they're in the buildings, things happen.
They sure do.
You know, it just teaches that lesson of, you know, you go about your day, you do what you're supposed to do.
Resilience.
Because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, I can tell you, you can never know what's going to happen. So one thing I do want to express, Kiera, to our audience is that the goal of the Lincoln County School District is to bring kids back to school. And we know that we cannot bring them back full-time or full caseloads because we know that it's not safe. And we have a document called the Reopening Blueprint, which is a required Oregon Department of Ed blueprint that was vetted through and with our public health department, wonderful Lincoln County partners, also to them as well, they're fantastic. That anybody's welcome to go online and look at. It's probably a 30 to 40 page document with over 15 health and safety protocols. But make no mistake, you know, as soon as we reach our metrics for the proper amount of time and we feel safe, that's why we're bringing kids back to school little by little by little. It will never be a big push because we can't. We have to be safe. But
yeah, the state was saying just today that numbers are increasing.
They are.
Being testing, with increased testing comes increased cases.
That's right.
You know, it's a ever-changing deal. But we are, as a county, in phase 2. And so that makes, as we've talked about, a few differences, including some for some sports. What is that looking like?
Well, I'm really glad you brought that up, Kiera, because we know that on September 29th, the county finally went into phase 2. I do want to mention that the school districts are under the auspice of the Oregon Department of Ed and Governor of Oregon. Governor Kate Brown is the superintendent of schools for the state. ODE's Colt Gill is the deputy superintendent, and we're not under any phases. So for us, we're only under the metrics that of the numbers that the health department puts out under Oregon Health Authority. So regardless of what phase we're in, we don't follow the phases. Now, where that does affect us is that under phase 2, now that I said that, I'm going to walk it back and say that we're going to be opening our playgrounds. So our playgrounds will open after school. So they're locked during the school day. We can't have people wandering in because of tracing, contact tracing. And we'll open at 7 in the morning to a fully cleaned, sanitized play yard so that the kids are safe. Hope everybody heard that. I also want to let people and remind them that policy ING of the school district does not allow you to have dogs on our campus that are unleashed. They are not allowed to run what they call free roaming, free ranging. So please put your dog on a leash and then you can play with them all you want. And for goodness sake, please clean up after them, because it does
Yes,
make a mess on the bottom of our kids' and adults' shoes and all over our carpets and classrooms. And we have a big problem with that in Lincoln County schools. But anyway, yes. So in that way, it's important, we know that it's 100 inside, 250 outside, but it doesn't allow us to go back to having kids in school.
Are there any sports that will be allowed before spring?
Yes. Oh, Monday, October 12th, because we have kids that are coming back to school, and the OSAA, that is the organizing group around the governing group of athletics and extracurricular activities like choir and music and drama. They also have rules for school districts, and season 1 starts Monday. And that is for all seasons, all sports, except for high contact sports of football and wrestling. I don't think we'll have those this year at all. I don't. That might change. But we're not allowed to do anything but speed and agility camps. So we can bring small groups of kids to condition about their sport, but it's done in very small groups and very controlled environment. So more information will come out on that. We also have a golf tournament county-wide, working with our local golf courses. There'll be more information about that, because golf is the perfect sport for COVID. You're not near each other, and you can do that quite safely. That's why I think the golf courses are doing so well. So we are able to have a golf tournament as well. So at this point, I think almost every sport was listed. Oh, another one that won't happen is cheerleading.
Contact.
And
what about basketball?
I don't know about basketball. I am not.
Because that's a give and take. I mean, some of it is close in and some of it is far apart.
Well, volleyball too. I wonder about that one.
Yeah.
But cross country running, track, baseball, softball, those are all sports that can be distanced. And so we're going to have to be so careful. And what we don't want is to open and close like so many of our friends have. Look at Eugene schools, look at Springfield schools. Even in Corvallis, I don't know about their district, but the numbers are way high. And it's because the college is opened and they're not being as careful as they could be. We don't want to follow in that footstep.
Right, and they've got kids or young adults coming in from other states and
all over the place. So we have taken the tack, and I'm very proud of us here, even though we face a lot of criticism for why our kids are not back in school. We also have parents who have said to us, I don't care what you do, I'm not bringing my kid back to school. So we get it from both sides at all times.
Well, that's that way across the state on the entire issue.
It is. It is. It's true.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to add as we're wrapping up?
I just want to thank all of the partners that have really helped us. I want to mention something about childcare. We have had, besides people in the community that are not educators, we have had a lot of issues around educators being able to teach all day, and also, they have kids too, and their kids are not in school. I totally understand that, and really have compassion and understanding for that. So to that end, our partners with Newport Parks and Rec and Lincoln City Parks and Rec, Lincoln City Parks and Rec already opened their Kids Adventure program, and they will have 20 school-age kids age 5 to 11, hours 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., including some Lincoln County School District staff that we've put into the mix as childcare, so that essential workers, which are not only emergency care workers, but in this situation, teachers, can have childcare, safe, healthy childcare for their kids. We stood up a 15 to 20 school-age child daycare at the Toledo Library and at the South Campus of Oregon Coast Community College. Two great partners. Those begin on Monday. We already have people enrolling.
That's fantastic.
And then Newport Parks and Rec has had a hard time getting staffing. We just lent them 1.5 staff to go with the staff that they have. And we don't know when they'll be opening, but we've got our fingers crossed that it'll be soon. They really want to serve about 30 to 40 kids full day. And they've just been wonderful partners. The county's been a great partner, and we've had great partners around the state. So I do like to speak to that because people have really, Lincoln County stepped up.
They really have. And that's one thing that I love about living in this wonderful area is that when there is a need, when there is an issue, we all kind of throw everything together, rally together and say, let's solve this problem.
It is kind of an amazing thing I've noticed. You know, I'm in my 3rd year as superintendent. It's gone by so fast. And there have been a lot of bumps in the road. There's just a lot of things that happen. But overall, people have been tremendously supportive of our kids and families and staff. And I just hope they know how much we love them and love their support, and what a blessing that has been to the school district. And we are going to do our level best to safely educate every child as best we can. Right now it's online. We've learned a lot about online learning that we're not going to throw away. But truly, kids need to be in front of teachers, and that's their vocation, and that's what we'd like to do. So hang in there with us. That's what I'm asking. We're doing the best we can.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This update on the Lincoln County schools, and thanks for joining me, Dr. Karen Gray, Lincoln County School Superintendent, for Coffee with Kiera. Sponsored, I'll get my fingers out of the way there. I had it turned so I could drink. Sponsored by The Human Being, located in Newport on 6th Street and Highway 101, and in Lincoln City at the north end of town on the west side of the highway by TLC Credit Union. For Pacific Northwest News and Entertainment, I'm Kiera Morgan.